Next story is called The Haunted Doll. Now, before I even get into this, dolls, I don't do. I don't do dolls at all. And it's not like something like, oh, that's that toxic masculinity. No. I don't like dolls. Now, you gotta understand, I grew up in the 90s. I was raised in the 90s, right? I was born in the 90s, raised in the 90s. I was born in 91 exactly. We had Chucky. And as a kid, that scared the hell out of me. You know, as an adult now, I love Chucky. I watch the show on USA all the time. But as a kid, it terrified the hell out of me. But as I got older, even as a teenager, you know, I was cool. I won't worried about Chucky or nothing. Until I wasn't even a teen yet. I was 12 years old. Before I even get into this story, I'm gonna give y'all my own experience. Mind you, the name of the story is The Haunted Doll. I was 12 years old. Matter of fact, no. I'm gonna read this story and then I'm gonna give y'all my experience at the end. So, The Haunted Doll. When you think of haunted dolls, it's likely the creepy old Victorian-looking porcelain kind that springs to mind. None of which you probably have laying around. Still, don't get too comfortable around any kids' toys too soon. Y'all ready to find out what type of doll it was? Nah, it won't no Raggedy Ann doll. Y'all ready? Here we go. A Disney's Frozen Elsa doll that was gifted for Christmas in 2013 in the Houston area made headlines earlier this year. Well, I'm reading this. I don't know exactly what year this was written. Let me look up and see if I can see it. Oh, this was this year. This was literally published October 5th. Oh, shoot. Anyway, so a Disney's Frozen Elsa doll that was gifted for Christmas 2013 in the Houston area made headlines earlier this year when it seemingly became haunted. Now, this is crazy because it mentioned that it became haunted, which insinuates it was no problem at the beginning. So let's get into the story, okay? So this is from KPRC2 Houston News. The doll recited phrases from the movie Frozen and sang "Let It Go" when a button on his necklace was pressed. And we all know that song. My youngest son, he found it on YouTube, and now he just keeps singing that song over and over and over. But for 2 years, it sung the song in English. The mother, Emily, I want to say Madani. If I'm saying the name wrong, I apologize. In 2015, so this is 2 years later, it started singing the song, but it was alternating between Spanish and English. Now, I'm not a toy maker or anything. I'm not 100% sure how they usually change the settings for a talking doll to be able to say something in English or say something in whatever native language the child is, native language the child is where they reside at when they buy the toy. So it's like, if somebody from another country brought that same toy, I don't think it would talk English if that's not their native tongue. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how it's made, so I'm not a professional at this. I am just somebody who is in front of a camera on a microphone telling y'all scary stories. So to reiterate, for 2 years it sung the song in English, and then in 2015 it started alternating between Spanish and English. And there wasn't a button that changed these settings. It was just random. It just randomly happened, because I would assume, and I think anybody would assume, if you have a toy that talks, you should be able to toggle between different languages. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would assume. My kids, they play with toys, but they don't play with talking toys. Maybe like dinosaurs that make noises and stuff like that, but nothing like really talkative toys. They more into video games and stuff, but that's on me because I'm a gamer, so But anyway, or they play with wrestling figures, which I was huge with that as a kid too. So, and those don't really talk unless you get the ones that make sound effects when you hit them. You know what I'm saying? But back to the story. The family has owned the doll for more than 6 years and never changed its batteries. Okay. This is why I'm definitely going to have to tell y'all my experience, because you had this toy for 6 years and you never had to change the battery and it still kept talking? At this point, yes, honey. Because what battery you got? Because sure ain't Energizer. It sure ain't Duracell. They don't, them commercials, they tell you they last long. And they might last long. But if you're actively playing with this toy over and over, I doubt it's gonna last 6 years without needing a new battery. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of weird. The mother says the doll would randomly begin to speak and sing even when its switch turned off. With its switch turned off. I can't wait to tell y'all my experience with this. Not with this doll, but my own experience. The family decided to throw the creepy doll out in December of 2019. Weeks later, they found it inside a bench in their living room. The kids insisted they didn't put it there, and I believed them because they wouldn't have dug through the garbage outside. But Madonna, it might be Madonna, it might be Madonna, is Madonia, had told KPRC2 Houston News. At that point, first of all, let me go back. She said she threw the doll away, and a week later found it inside a bench in their living room. The kids said they ain't did it, and she believed them because they ain't gonna go through no trash. Now, I mean, we gonna believe our kids for sure, but they're kids. If you think your kids ain't gonna go through no trash, kids go through trash. Kids get dirty. Like, they just roll, they go outside, they roll in dirt. That's just what they do, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not accusing the kids of doing this, because if the mother believed the kids, then I gotta believe the kids too, because she know her kids. They her kids, you know what I'm saying? She raising them. I ain't raising them, she raising them. So who am I to question it, you know what I'm saying? Alright. At that point, Elsa ceased to sing the English rendition of Let It Go altogether, speaking only Spanish when pressed. went from just singing English to singing English and Spanish to being thrown away because it kept talking even when it wasn't turned on or didn't even need batteries being changed or anything. Came back from the dead, obviously, and started speaking Spanish. The family then double bagged the bizarre doll and placed it at the bottom of their garbage, which was taken out on garbage day. They went on a trip shortly after, but when they returned, Elsa too had come back and was waiting in the backyard of their home. So at this point, we know it ain't the kids because the kids was going on a trip with them. So now this doll has come back, sitting in the backyard like, what's up, y'all? How was that vacation? You know what I'm saying? Y'all threw me away. I'm here. What's up? Like, creepy stuff, right? This time, the family mailed Elsa to a family friend in Minnesota who take the haunted doll to the front bumper of his truck. It doesn't seem to have made its way back to Houston yet, as per Madonna's latest February Facebook update on the creepy doll. That was February. It's October now. I low-key want to look her up and try to find out if she, had any more experiences. Did the doll come back off the truck? Now, here's the thing about this. If that doll come back off the truck, that doll is going to hurt somebody. At this point, it went from being like, you threw me away, now speaking Spanish, to you threw me away, I'm in your backyard, to you threw me away and put me on the truck. Oh, boy, when I come back, I'm coming for you. I pray that their family is safe. I pray that they're not being terrorized by this doll anymore. I pray that this was just some prank somehow. But if it wasn't the kids, I couldn't explain it. You know what I'm saying? I want to take this time. That was the end of that story. So I want to take this time to talk to y'all about my story. I was 12 years old, about 11 to 12, right? And I was going over to one of my older brother's house for the summer. I used to go over there all the time for the summer to spend the whole summer with him, his wife, and his kids. 3 daughters. 3 of his daughters that were living with him. They were young at this time. They were, I want to say, the age group at this time was probably around between, I want to say 2. The youngest was 2. I want to say like 2 to 4, maybe between 2 or 6 years old. All 3 of them were. The youngest I know was like 2 or 3. And for one Christmas, they got a Baby Alive doll. Y'all know the Baby Alive doll. The doll that talks, cries, blinks, use the bathroom, eats. That doll, right? They had the big commercials back in the day. Baby Alive, Baby Alive. All that crazy stuff, right? So I'm over there for the summer, and I used to sleep in the room with my nieces. Because I ain't want to sleep on the couch or on the floor, like on the floor in the living room, because where they stayed at, it wasn't carpet. It wasn't even like wood floor. It was like marble floor. So that floor was too hard to lay on. And so I was in the room. We all sleep. Everybody's knocked out, right? It's probably like 2 o'clock in the morning, and for some reason I wake up, and it's crazy because now I'm like that to this day. I wake up at around that same time every day now, ever since that happened to me. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. It's pitch black inside that room because they didn't have no nightlight or nothing. Or they didn't have it on because I was in the room with them, so they weren't scared because their uncle was in the room with them, right? And I ain't gonna let nothing happen to my nieces. Ghosts or not. Okay, I can't fight no ghosts, but I ain't gonna let that happen to my nieces, right? So I'm in the room with sleep. I wake up, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I feel this heaviness. And the heaviness is keeping me woke. I can't go back to sleep. It's like, I can't even explain it because it didn't feel like a person was in the room. It didn't feel like anybody was in there. And it didn't feel like a negative feeling. Like, like how you could feel evil. Like an evil entity. It didn't feel like that. It just felt heavy. And it's plenty of stories I can tell you about that house, honestly. And I probably will in between the stories myself. I'll give y'all a few of my own stories. It was this heavy feeling that just kept me woke. Meanwhile, my niece is out, knocked out, snoring. Just loud, mouth open type snoring, you know what I'm saying? And they little girls just snoring like they've been working all day, right? All of a sudden, you hear giggling. Mind you, my older brother, he always been a prankster. He always been the type of person that try to scare you. He'll make up stories that's going on in the house. I remember when I was a little baby, not a little baby, but like I was probably like 3-4 years old. My older brother would always tell me this story about little blue man, little green man, little red man running through the house, and they lived underneath the cabinets in the sink in the bathroom. And that shit scared the fuck out of me for years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I low-key didn't ever look into a cabinet under a sink for years because of that. So my first instinct was, this gotta be my brother. He's playing a trick on me. He knows I'm here. Is routine. He does this every time. He plays a game. He plays a trick. So I'm like, alright, whatever. I pay the giggling no attention. The giggling gets louder. Then the giggling starts to turn into like it's trying to, like, baby talk. The baby talk starts to turn into mommy. And just saying mommy over and over and over. And then it started crying. Instantly, I woke up one of my nieces. She was the older one there. I woke her up because she was the oldest. You gotta handle it. I know I'm older than you, but this is your room. This is your stuff. You gotta go check it out. I was like, hey, I'm not gonna say her name to protect her. I was like, hey, wake up. She woke up. She was already half out of it because she was, still asleep. But I got her to really wake up, and I was like, hey, your baby alive is over there making noise. I don't know if it's pressed up against other toys or something like that. Can you just go and turn the switch off? She said, okay. She get up. She picks up the doll. And then she comes laying back in the bed. Didn't say nothing to me. So I nudged her. Like, she goes back in her bed. She ain't say nothing to me. So I reach over and I nudge her. And I said, hey, what was up with that? Like, was it pressed up against something? Like, was the button jammed? What was wrong? Like, me personally, I just wanted to be able to put concrete evidence to it so I wouldn't be scared. This little girl gonna sit up, look me in the eye, and tell me ain't no batteries in there. I said, what? She said, there's no batteries in the Baby Alive doll. The batteries died. I took the batteries out. There's no batteries in that doll. And the switch is off. Did not sleep that night at all. It didn't go off anymore. I can say that. The doll did not make any noise anymore that night. But I did not sleep no more that night. And ever since then, I started sleeping out in the living room because I was like, nah, y'all toys got too much activity going on. And I woke up the next morning and checked I got up the next morning because I never went to sleep and checked the doll out. And she was right. There was no batteries inside that doll. No batteries in that doll. And ever since then, I said, I don't fuck with dolls at all. If I had a daughter, I don't have a daughter, I have 2 sons. If I had a daughter, nope. She would have to have them dolls at her mama house. Because them dolls ain't coming to daddy house, you feel me? It ain't happening. It is not happening. And if me and her mother are together, you're gonna have to have them dolls at grandma's house because shit ain't coming here. You feel me? That scared me so much, and that happened when I was like 11, 12 years old. I'm 31. Well, I'm 32 now. I'm about to say 31. I lost track of my time. I'm 32 years old. I'm not like at a point where I can't be around dolls. I just don't fuck with dolls in any capacity. Nah. Like, it's like, and I'm not talking about like no Barbie doll or nothing like that. I'm talking about those automated dolls that can talk. You know what I'm saying? I don't like those. Not at all. Keep those far away from me. And it's like, I get it. It's a doll. I could have handled it. I could have kicked it. It's a little doll. You know what I'm saying? However, whatever was in that doll, it terrified the life out of me. Like, truly. And I don't think I ever recovered from that.